Hi everyone, Ainsley here from Small Fry Creations. Today I'm going to show you how you make this iPad stand or tablet stand. Let's do it.
For this project you can use any timber you like. For mine, I'm using Meranti and Oak. The first step is to rough cut your timber to length. I cut mine to 300mm. You can use any width timber you like, and my stand comes to a total of 400mm in height. I could then glue it up. You want to try and keep the timber as flat as possible, so when you're gluing up, either apply clamps to the top and the bottom, or apply clamps to the bottom and then put heavy items on top. This way you'll stop any bowing. Once the glue has dried, you can square cut one side on the chop saw. Once you have one square edge, you can measure 250mm across and square the other side to your measurement. With your stand now cut to width, you can start the job of sanding. At this stage, I sand everything with 80 grit sandpaper to get everything level. With everything sanded flat, I could then put my iPad on to get a guide of how tall it needed to be. I then measured 310mm up from the bottom and drew a line. I then found the centre of my board and made a mark. I then made a mark 20mm each side of the centre mark. I then found the centre of the top of the board and again made a mark. I then made a mark 50mm each side of the centre mark. I could then join the bottom and the top marks to make my handle. I could then cut this out using the jigsaw. I then applied a 1/4 inch roundover to both sides of the stand. I could then sand everything to 220 grit, and with everything sanded smooth, I could glue the block pieces onto the back which would hold the stand up. I cut these with a 10-degree angle. I then glued the shelf on the front to hold the iPad. I could then bring my stand to life with a couple of coats of Cabot Satin Clear and making sure that I lightly sand with 220 grit sandpaper in between coats.
Now I just want to let you know, in the video I said to cut these blocks for the stand to a 10-degree angle. Now when I did this and tested it and put the iPad on it, it sat so far forward that you couldn't actually read the iPad from a standing position. So I grabbed my stand and I measured, which is 25 degrees, and I cut my blocks to match, and now it works absolutely perfect. So I would suggest if you're going to make a stand similar to this one, grab a stand that you know works and that you like, measure the angle, and then cut the blocks to match. Now if you like this video, be sure to hit those subscribe buttons so you can keep up to date with what I'm doing. If you like these projects, I've got plenty more on the channel for you to check out. Simple DIY projects just like this one. I'll see you next time.